Good afternoon. All right, Black Box Radio and South Africa to Africans. We are here today. It's our regular Monday. We've been gone for a few weeks. Had some logistic issues. Today we're trying to get in more spaces, trying to get you guys get more connected. But we're gonna work on that. So we're late today, but we're still here. We are Make It Make Sense Mondays, and we come on every Monday at 2 p.m. or 9 p.m. in Kenyan time. I'm Queen. I'm a host at Black Box Radio. Black Box Radio is a multimedia platform illustrating Black excellence. We're in the States. We're based in Baltimore, and we also have a South Carolina studios, which I am in today. But we started in Baltimore City. And so this is a collaboration between me and Arena. Arena is in Kenya. So this is the diaspora connecting, dialoguing, and talking about poignant topics. So we need you guys to tap in. That's real talk. You got to tap in. I need you to go to YouTube and subscribe to my joint, Black Box Radio, and to my brother Arena. You see, founder of South Africa to Africans. Tap into both of those. We're going to find ways to stream into other areas so this can get in the diaspora so we can have some real rich conversations about what's going on in Africa, because we're not anything if we're not uniting. And it's a lot of chaos in the world. We got to unite. And Africa is rising in so many ways. There's a lot of good things going on the continent, but there are some things that need to be fixed. So we need to talk about that. So my brother Arena, say hi to the people.
Hey guys, how you doing? It's your big brother or small brother, depending on your age. I know to Queen, I'm Queen is my big sister. Queen is my big sister.
You're my big brother. Yeah. You're right.
No, I'm very small compared to you.
My big little brother.
So I'm your brother. I'm your brother Orina. I'm a Kenyan Pan-Africanist, and I just love African people. You might have seen me in Instagram or on TikTok shouting and going crazy on some videos, but it's not.
Yeah.
He's not a crazy guy. He's not a mad guy. He's just a guy who's passionate about Black people and a guy who's angry. So you have to understand my anger. I am an angry Black man, and I'm not proud to say it. I wish I was not, but unfortunately I am. And, but I'm angry because we are not doing well as a people, not because I'm naturally angry. I'm actually a very chill, nice guy. But when I start thinking about the Black issues, when I start, going crazy. But that's me. That's me, Queen. That's me.
Well, you know what? For real, it's hard to be African and not be angry. We've had some atrocities that's been brought to our doorsteps, to our communities, to our culture, to us as a people. And also, we have some things that we have to fix within us. So it's hard not to be angry. We're all over the world, Africans are suffering in some way, unfortunately. And we got to fix that. We definitely got to fix that. So what are we talking about today?
Today we're talking about Arabian racism. We rarely talk about what's going on in the Middle East, the so-called Middle East, which is just an appendage and extension of Africa. And it was separated. It was separated by some Europeans by building the Suez Canal. But at the end of the day, the Middle East is just an extension of Africa. But over the years, the Arabs who have been there have 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 they have perpetuated racism. You know, I always say this, Queen. If 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 Arabs don't respect their own Arabian women, what makes you actually? What do you think they will do to African women who go there?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
some countries that don't even allow women to drive in the Middle East. So
Yep.
if they do that to their own women, what do you think
Yep.
they will do to African women? Queen, let me tell you something. The, this is very, very close to my heart because uh, Kenya is a is a beneficiary of racism in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in Dubai,
Wow.
because our economy is not doing well. You
Mm-hmm.
know the situation in this country. Our politics is poor. Our economics is even more poor.
Wow.
So as a result, people tend to go to the Middle East in order to get maybe a better life. So
Yeah.
in Kenya, there are agencies. There are agencies that link Kenyans to Saudi Arabia, Dubai, or whatever, whichever Middle Eastern country.
Mm.
So you pay the agency a certain amount, and it's a lot of money.
Oh wow.
Probably like it's a lot of
So
money.
you
Like you can even
so
find
you're
an agency
paying
is
to
charging
work.
someone
So you
half a
pay to
million.
work.
Like
Wow. So you're paying to
so
work.
no, so these agencies they charge you a lot of money. Some even go to half a million or quarter of a million Kenya shillings, which
How
is a
much
lot of
would that
money.
be in American money? How much would that be?
So that would be that would be like $2,500.
Like
Yes.
2,500 to go work? To be a
Yeah.
worker? You have to
Now
pay?
now look,
Whoa.
now look. These agencies they charge it to you, and that's for the passport. That's for the work permit. Sorry, for the work visa. Work visa. So work visa, passport, air ticket. So they tell you, hey, look, we have a job for you in, let's say, Saudi Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
and this is a flat rate, a flat rate of like 400,000 Kenya shillings, which is like 3,000 USD.
Mm-hmm.
Give us money, we will cater for everything. Just give us $3,000. We have a nice job for you there. So in your mind, you're thinking that I'm going to Saudi Arabia to get a nice job with a nice pay, so on and so forth. But in actuality, you don't know you are going there. And for example, like and this mostly affects African women, especially Kenyan women. Like you don't know you're going there to be a sex slave. Like you don't know you're going there to be a house, to be a I don't like calling them housemates because they're not housemates there. They're house slaves.
They're
Because if you
slaves.
see
Yeah.
what's going on there, you I mean, so you're thinking that you're going to do a decent job, but you're going there to be something totally different. So you get there and you find that you're doing house slaving job. Not it's not housemaid, it's a house slaving job. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of African women, a lot of women of actually Kenya. I remember there was a crisis and it was all over the Kenyan news.
Yeah.
Let me read you a statistic. But before I read you a statistic, Kui, let me tell you that these agencies are a bunch of con men. Like there's a bunch of conmanship going on there. You pay a lot of money to go to, let's say, Saudi Arabia, and these
Mm-hmm.
agencies, like they don't tell you what awaiting you on the other side. So you're
So you don't
excited.
know
You're going
what
to,
you're going into. You're paying into
you
something you
don't
have
know.
no clue. You haven't talked to the
You don't
people.
know.
You don't know where you're going. You're just trusting an agency, and your government allows that. They allow
Now,
this shroud of secrecy.
I'll get there. I'll get there. But the
Wow.
agencies are very, blur. They don't want to tell you much about what's on the other side. So you're excited. You're going to Saudi Arabia for the first time to
Yeah.
work.
Do they pay your
And
airfare? Are they paying for you to come? Do you have to pay? You have to pay this agency. Is that for your ticket too, or that is just
well,
for the process?
well, it depends. It depends what the agency does. There's some agencies that the flat rate also includes the air ticket, and there's some that they don't even include the air ticket. So you have to add some money to pay for the air ticket.
Wow.
So it's yeah, 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 yeah. It's very. Let me tell you, Queen. So maybe they told you you're going to do this type of job in Saudi Arabia. But when you get Saudi Arabia, you are
Mhm.
going, you find that you're something totally different. You're like, what the hell is this? I didn't sign up for this. And and they promise that you're going to get. Let's say they promise you're going to get, let's say, 200,000 Kenya shillings a month. But when you get there, many of these African women who are there in those housekeeping jobs, in those
Right.
whatever jobs they're doing, they're getting 10% of what they were promised, of 20% of what they were promised by the agency.
So the agency gets money off of you while you work also?
Well, no, you see, that's the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
Like, they lie to you. So when you're in Kenya, you get excited because, number one, you're going to a foreign country.
Another
Then
country,
number two,
yeah.
you're excited because you've been told that you're going to earn 200,000 or 100,000 Kenya shillings. But when you get to Saudi Arabia or to Dubai or to Qatar, you find that you're earning 20,000. You were promised 200,000. Now you're
Yeah.
earning 20,000 Kenya shillings. You know what, twenty
Tell me what
thousand
that
Kenya
is
shillings per month. That
a
is
month.
if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that is $200 a month.
And you already have
So
invested maybe 25 to 3,000, maybe 4,000 to get there. You made that investment,
yeah.
that initial investment, and then when you told one thing and you get there, and they're only paying you $200 a month. So you might never can get back home because it's going to
Now
take you a
getting
lot
back
of money
home.
to get back home. Wow.
Now getting back home, if you're lucky, because a lot of women don't even get back home in one piece. See, that's now another thing. But before I go there, I just want to expose these agencies for a second. These
Okay.
agencies, if I'm not mistaken, and if I do my investigation or whatever, you'll find that these agencies are are fully or partly owned by Kenyan politicians.
What?
Yeah, yeah. Because there's
What?
no
Listen,
way. There,
call them
there is
out.
no
Wow.
way. Listen, there is no way that you can allow this mess to go on for years. There's no way. Like, there's no way. There's plenty of evidence. There's plenty of horror stories. There's plenty of just incidences of these agencies conning a lot of Kenyans who are going to Arabian countries. So there's, and it's big business. I mean, imagine if per person paying $3,000, and let's say you have like 10 customers in a week, or 20 customers in a week. Imagine how much money that
You get
is.
paid.
So it's
You
big
get
business.
paid.
It's big business.
Yeah.
It's big business. So now, so you've been promised a nice job. You go there and you find that you're a housemaid or you're a sex slave.
What?
So you're stuck there. You're like, hey, so you know what some of these women do? They're like, hey, you know what? I'm here and I just have to conform. I'm not going back to Kenya. I'm just gonna stay here and hustle. And some of them stay there and they do those dirty jobs. I'm telling you, Arabs mistreat them. Arabs are raping a lot of African women who are going there. Those Arabs are even starved. I mean, there are many stories of the African housemaids who are there being starved. They're not being fed well. There's plenty of evidence of them being physically abused, verbally abused, sexually abused. I mean, abuse from all angles. And let me read you a
Yes.
statistic. Let me read you a statistic. So this is according to France 24. Kenyan maids face abuse in Saudi Arabia with 274 deaths. 274 deaths in the last 5 years. In the last
What?
5 years, and this video was released on 17th
From,
March 2025.
from
7,
people who work, who go to work, they come back dead.
17th March 20. So as at 17th March 2025, within
Wow.
5 years. So that means from 2020 March all the way
Yep.
to March this year, 274 people have been reported dead. Kenyan maids been reported dead in Saudi Arabia.
And imagine that March 2020 was the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were trying to get work or move into a situation, and it was everybody's in the house. Wow, this is terrible.
Oh, by the way, in just 2 years, from 2019 to 2021, 93 people died while working in the Middle East in just 2 years, and these are reported. And there are many cases that are not reported. There was a program in our in Citizen TV. That's like our biggest local station, and
Hmm.
I remember watching it. Was it in 20? It was actually in 2021. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2020 or 2021. And there were many women who survived the horror in Saudi Arabia, and they were giving out their testimonies in the TV station. And when you hear those stories, Queen, you will drop down in tears. There's a story. There's a story of those doing the rounds a few years ago of a woman who was breastfeeding, who was forced to breast. She was forced to breastfeed puppies. I don't know if it was a punishment or what. I don't know. I don't know why they made her do it, but it happened.
On her
So
breast.
I'm telling you, the people are coming here. People are coming in body bags from Saudi Arabia, from Dubai, from Qatar, because of sex slaving and also because of doing housekeeping, housemaid
Yeah,
jobs where they're
house
being
slave.
mistreated and treated like dogs. It's not even housekeeping or it's house slaving. It's house slaving.
Wow.
The
So
the Saudi
men don't do these
and
jobs. These are mostly women. It's not really a male gender type thing. It's more women.
males also struggle, but many people who struggle in the Middle East, many African immigrants in the Middle East who go there to work and they're facing horror is African women. When it comes to men, the problem comes in with poor working conditions in terms of safety. Because a lot
Yeah.
of men, well, let me not say a lot, but a sizable amount of men who go to Qatar, Dubai, or the Middle East are going there to do manual jobs, construction jobs being one of them, and that is evident because during the World Cup, last World Cup 2022 in Qatar, a lot of those stadiums were made by African immigrants. A
Yep.
lot of the stadiums that you
Yes.
saw in the World Cup, the
And a lot of
biggest
people
sporting
died
event.
making those stadiums. Yes, that's
Yeah,
been known. People died. It was the most horrible conditions. To even with the Olympics, they wanted to pull it. Well, they weren't going to pull, but they were thinking and talking about the conditions of the work to build these stadiums are horrible. They almost they enslave people to build. They work 24/7. Wow. Well, you know what? This is my question, because I can already hear that it's heinous, that it's malicious, that it's hurtful, and we see in the Middle East where they have a lack of respect for women. Women are as a role to actually serve, and these traditional roles, and we know this, and in many places, women can't do much in the Middle East. So our women, Black women, African women, are going over to a country where women are already being mistreated. Well, not mistreated. Well, yes, I'm going to say mistreated. Not being women can't be their full selves in all actuality. So how do we stop this? Because in Kenya, if you continue to let the economy and the political processes in Kenya be a problem, people need to work. And if you keep them in a way that they're oppressed, they're going to have to use your company to go to the Middle East. This is going to be a vicious cycle that won't end. How are we going to stop it?
Well, listen, the reason why, well, before I even answer that, let me just say that, yeah, when it comes to African men, the problem is poor working conditions. So they work longer hours. The accommodation is poor. You know, I know this because somebody very close to me is in Dubai, and I was talking to her, and I saw, you know, the accommodation that the agencies give them. I mean, so the agencies tell you that, you know, when you go there, there's a place where we've prepared for you to stay, a nice place. So you're thinking that, oh, maybe it's a nice apartment. Or when you go there, you find that you've been assigned a place whereby there are like 30 people with double decker bunkers, and there's only one toilet for like 30 people, and that's where you live. That's where you live. And so the agencies are full of lies. The agencies are full of lies. They tell you that we planned a good accommodation for you when you go to Dubai, Qatar, or Saudi Arabia, but when you go there, it is total. I mean, it's a mess. You're sharing a room with 15 people. You can't even turn the other side when you're sleeping. You're sharing the same bathroom and the same toilet, and that's where you live. But the agency told you something totally different. So the problem, Queen,
I hear it.
the problem is, listen, the problem is these. Number one is the Arabian government, because they barely give a damn about you. They barely give a damn about African immigrants who go there to work. The only thing they want from you is your human resource, so that they can get, you know, they can extract your labor. That's the only thing they care, to extract your labor. They don't care about your well-being. But you know what? Because I don't even blame them per se, because the person who should be caring about your well-being is the Kenyan government, is the Ugandan government, is the Sudanese government, is the Ethiopian, whatever. It's the African governments. When you go there, they should. You know what, Queen? Let me tell you something. The first thing that needs to happen is that these agencies listen. When I'll be president, not if, because I will be president of this country one day. I will. I'm so sick and tired of this country being the way it is. I'm too young now. I'm 25 years old.
Wait a minute. Hold up.
No, I
Hold
will.
up. What did you
I
just
will.
say?
I will.
Say it again.
I will become the president of the Republic of Kenya. I will. I will, because this country is in a mess.
That's what I'm talking
And you know,
about.
Kenya, like a lot of people look up to Kenya. Kenya, like it's Kenya, South Africa, Nigeria, that and also Egypt, that people look up to, like other Africans, other 52, 53 African, 50, whatever heads of other 50 plus African countries, they look up to Kenya, South Africa, and Nigeria. Those are the cornerstones of Africa. And if Kenya is leading, if Kenya is leading in the Pan-African fight, if South Africa is leading in the Pan-African fight, if Nigeria is leading the Pan-African fight, Gambia will follow. Zambia will follow. I'm telling you, automatically, I'm telling you, all these other countries will follow. And I'm so sick and tired of Pan-Africanism not being in the...
How do we fix this in the now, though? How can this be quelled? How can we continue to...
Let me tell you, when I'll be president, I'll shut down all these agencies. I'll shut them down.
Love it.
I'll shut them down. Just shut them down and put those agency owners to jail. Just throw them to jail.
That's right. That's right.
Because you can't tell me that this mess has been going on for so long. There's plenty of evidence of them lying, of them doing conmanship on our African women and African men. And when you go there, it's totally different from what you were told or what you agreed. With these agencies. These agencies are a mess, and they're in bed with the Arabian employers. They're in bed with them.
Okay.
So what you need to do is shut down these agencies. Shut them down, Queen. Shut them down. Wait, Queen. Let me say this. Wait, Queen. Please. Shut them down. Shut these agencies down. Shut them down. Shut them down and put the owners to jail. This is slave trade. This is, you know what? This is trans-Saharan slavery 2.0. 2.0, this is slavery. You're selling our African women to be slaves. You're selling our African men to be slaves. How can you be the president of a country and you're comfortable? You're comfortable with your people just going to be slaves. People are lining up to go to that airplane in Jomo Kenyatta Airport to be slaves, and you let that happen. Shut it down. Shut the agencies. And then number two, Queen. After you shut the agencies, shut and don't allow anyone to go work in the Middle East anymore. Shut it down.
Shut it down. But let me ask you a question. For that to happen, though, Kenya has to rise. These countries have to rise up and have spaces so people can make some cash. But what is the responsibility? And then also, these agencies they don't have to be this malicious. Is the Kenyan government must demand that you respect their citizens? I just don't understand how you can have 250 people come back. The women are coming back in body bags. Come on.
274 in the past 5 years. In the past 5 years, 274 people have been reported dead. Kenyan maids. 274 people have been reported dead in Saudi Arabia, and that's the reported ones. There are many cases that go unreported. There are many cases where Kenyan maids or even Kenyan men who work in those Arabian countries who have died as a result of working there, and their bodies have been dumped somewhere in those countries. And these are the ones that we know. These are the ones that we know.
Wow.
There are many that we don't know. So probably it's even thousands. This is genocide. This is genocide. That's why I'm saying, Queen, look, shut down the borders, shut down the agencies that link Kenyans to go to become slaves in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, and in Dubai. Shut them down. Number two, shut down any person who's going to work in these African countries. If you're going to travel, to visit, fine. Travel, visit, good. But there's no working there until they have proven that they'll take measures into protecting African immigrants who go work there. let's not be let's not be scared because they have all the oil and because they have all the gas. No, no, no. We cannot value oil and gas over our people.
Yeah.
So so wait, you mean to tell me that oil and gas is more important than your people dying, than your people being raped, than your people being sex slaves?
Mm.
Listen, Kenyan government, Ugandan government, Tanzanian government, if you're listening to me, shut down anybody who's just shut it down. Shut down any person who's going to work in the Middle East. Shut it down and jail all these agency owners and shut down these agencies. That's the only solution. And then when you do that, you set up a meeting with the foreign affairs ministers, or you set up a meeting with the sheiks or presidents, whatever they have. You tell them, gentlemen, look, we listen. No problem. People want to go work. My people want to go work in your country. Fine. But number one, you have to give them a livable wage. You have to give them a wage, like a reasonable wage. Number two, you have to protect them. You have to convince me that you're going to protect them. You have to show me the systems, show me the initiatives you're going to take to protect African women who are going to work there. Once everything is said and done, and once everything is sure, that's when they can go there to work. But Queen, before we even go there, why are we why are people going to work in the first place? Why are people running away from Kenya, running away from Uganda, running away from Tanzania, and going to Saudi Arabia to work? Why? It's because the government has failed. The government has failed. You have failed your people. You have ruined the economy. You have ruined the politics. You have ruined the country. You have stolen everything. So people are like, hey, how am I going to live in a country like this? I can't even get. Let me tell you something, Queen. 70%, 70% of Kenyan youth is unemployed. That means that 7 out of 10. So, like when you walk in the streets of Nairobi, when you walk in the most illustrious street in East Africa, which is Nairobi, you walk in Nairobi and you find 10, a group of 10 young people walking. 7 out of the 10 people who are walking in Nairobi that are youths are unemployed. And you wonder why last year there was mass protests of youth all over the country. You wonder why. You wonder, first of all, you wonder where they get the time to fight with the police from morning to the next morning. You wonder why. Because they don't have jobs. They don't have jobs. They don't have opportunities. So that's why they go to Qatar. That's why they go to Saudi Arabia. That's why they go to Dubai to earn chicken change. That's chump change. You can't live with $200 a month. You can't do that. But they go there because at least they can get a job there.
Yeah.
You have ruined the country. You have ruined the continent. That's why people are going to Saudi Arabia to be sex slaves.
This is terrible. Terrible.
Fix the country. Fix Africa so that these people don't have to go to Saudi Arabia to go become sex slaves, to go breastfeed puppies, to go and get starved there, to go and die making those stadiums so that you can enjoy World Cup, so that you can enjoy Messi and Ronaldo and Neymar playing. But they're playing in blood stadiums.
I do want to say something, Brother Arena, and what you're saying is powerful. All over the world, there's an attack on African people in some way. That every time when people set up around Africans, whether they're American Africans, South American African, whatever, Caribbean Africans, whatever, whenever we're present, we're never thought of as partners and always as property. What is this mindset that a group of people that predates everyone, the descendants of, wherever we are, wherever there's an industry around us, there's a level of oppression, there's a level of subjugation. What is this? And is this because Africa's weak? Or is this what is this? Because wherever you go in the world, wherever we are, and there is even in the cities of the states, wherever African Americans are, we're thought of as property. And when they got poor white people, they treat them as partners. And when I'm listening to the press and the impoverished and the people of Kenya and Uganda and Tanzania and these countries that are going through economic issues, again we see where people treat us as property and they misuse us. Why? Why do you think that is?
Well, because we are not people. Uh, we are just a bunch of goods and services. We are
We're
not people.
property. That's what I'm saying.
We are
How can
we are
we be
property
property to everyone? How is that? Where does it come from?
because we allow. Because number one, because of the legacy. I mean, the legacy of slavery is still around. Remember, the
Absolutely.
white man is
I
not the
believe
only
that.
one. The white man is not the
Everyone
only
else were
one
big in
who,
slavery. Yes.
of course, I want people to go read about the trans-Saharan slave trade. If I've ever if I've ever sold you into slavery, I'll forever look at you as a slave, even when you're free.
Mhm.
Well, not free because, well, we're not free per se, but even when you get a slight form, a slight version of freedom,
Yeah.
I don't care what degree, I don't care what percentage of freedom you will get. I will forever look at you as a slave. If you've ever been my slave, you'll forever be my slave.
Woo. Africa has to rise. The only way this changes is if we have a country that allows us and takes care of us and makes sure that we have resources and we're safe. Africa has to rise. This is terrible, what I'm hearing, that this is happening in the 21st century. And what's more terrible is the lack of inhumanity, is the inhumane conditions and the inhumanity that's being um, perpetrated amongst two Africans. Because we look at the Middle East, they build that big ditch called the Suez Canal. This is an extension of your people in all actuality. The Middle East was named by a European. This is Europe. This is white Western stuff that they created. So they created this space. They named it the Middle East. It is a piece of Africa. They digged a ditch in between the Suez Canal, and now they renamed it. And so they are descendants of the same people. So why are you hurting the people in which you come from?
Look,
and and,
Queen,
and most of Africa is Muslims. There is everybody's Islam. What are we doing?
well, look, that's why. And the other day I saw Kenyans going to the streets and marching for Palestinians.
Yeah,
If I was president, I would have arrested them, or I would have given them. I won't have taken them to jail because that would be extreme. But I
I
would
don't
have
want
fined
nobody to see
them.
me laugh.
I would have fined them probably 5,000 Kenya shillings or something. Just like I would have given them some sort of punishment, some sort of punishment. Because no, please don't. I don't want to hear anything about free Palestine. I don't want to hear nothing about that. I don't want to hear nothing about free
Can you
Palestine.
explain that?
I
I
don't
want
want
to
to
hear
hear
why.
nothing about that. I don't want to hear
Can you?
nothing about that because they've never fought for us. They've never. You tell me. Listen, we're talking about Arabs today. I mean, Palestine is filled with Arabs.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What are they doing to fight against what's happening with Africans in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, and in Dubai? What are they doing?
Well, right now they're fighting for their lives, unfortunately. I
Which
hear what you're
life?
saying.
Yeah, even me, I'm fighting for my life. I'm fighting for my life in Congo. I'm fighting for my life in Sudan. Do you know what's happening in Sudan right now? Sudan is in a mess.
A
I don't have
mess.
time to fight for Palestinians. I'm fighting for the 247 or 274 people who have died reportedly in the past 5 years. Kenyans who have died in Saudi Arabia in the past 5 years. I'm fighting for that. I'm fighting for Somalia to finally get some stability, because Somalia hasn't seen stability in so many years, and we know why. Like I'm fighting for Congo, I'm fighting for Sudan, I'm fighting for Somalia, I'm fighting for Kenyans who are struggling over there, who are being slaves, who are being sex slaves in Middle East, in those Arabian countries. I'm fighting for that. I'm not fighting for these Palestinians who are not even saying a word, who are not saying a word about this. I don't want to hear nothing about this. See, the problem is black people. Like black people will waste their breath on people who will never waste their breath for them.
Mm.
What's happening in Sudan, in Congo, put together is even. Do you imagine? Imagine a country that has never seen stability for half a century,
The Congo
close to
hasn't
half a
seen
century.
stability since Leopold. Since Leopold killed all, it has not seen stability since. Kuma came in there, but they killed him. These areas have been in
But that's Patrice Lumumba from Congo.
Lumumba, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lumumba, they killed him. So they've never had action. They've been under dictatorship. Leopold killed, I think, 20 million Africans, 40 years of his subjugation. Then the Belgian government came in with another 40 years of slavery. Then you got these dictatorships that the Westerners put in. Then you got Lumumba. They killed him quickly because he wanted to take the Congo back. And then they put, isn't it Seko, or they put him in as another dictatorship. And as you said, these Arab countries have never ever said a word about what's going on in Africa. I mean, I feel for the Palestinians. What Israel's doing is to me is awful. I don't want to one up inhumanity. Being inhumane is being inhumane. I have empathy for there, but listen, I'm Africa first. And I definitely understand that Congo and Somalia and Sudan and so many areas, Ethiopia, so many areas need help. But I also can at the same time have empathy for what's going on in Palestine. Because to starve people and to take their land, to me, is awful. But I'm focused on Africans. So I think we could do both. Don't you think? I'm not
No, we
marching
can't
for.
do both. No,
Wow.
we can't do
Okay.
both. No,
And tell
no,
me.
no, no, no.
No,
Africa
no,
is
no.
the
And
most
tell me why.
disorganized. Africa is the most disorganized. Africa is the most embattled place.
In the world.
I mean, Africa is filled with problems. Filled with
Yes.
problems from northern Nigeria, constantly in conflict. From Congo, constantly in conflict. From
Yes.
Sudan, constantly in conflict. And let me not even
South
mention what's
Africa.
happening in Somalia.
South
Somalia
Africa.
constantly
Everywhere.
in no, nobody can tell me nothing about. No. There's too many places in Africa. Maybe when we solve our problems, then maybe I'll think about you. But for now, nah. And you know what? Even if we solve our problems, I won't even think about you because you didn't think about me.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
listen. I'm in the States, and we have to hear what you're saying. And listen, American African in the States, we're not doing good neither. We might look good, we might think we're good, we got some diamonds on our mouth and diamonds on our hands, but we're suffering. As a community, there's a lot of suffering in the American African community. We try. we hold poverty real well because we're in a country that lies about everything. So I actually agree with you that, listen, when you're hurting, it's hard to look outside your hurt.
and we
I don't see
love
anybody
and
in the
we love
hospital looking at somebody else who's hurt. You got to take care of your own stuff. You got to heal. I get it.
Yeah,
I
and
get
we
it.
love African Americans. A lot of hell is going on. A lot of police brutality. And you know what,
Hmm.
Queen? Let me tell you, I literally shed tears during the pandemic when there was the George Floyd protests, and
Yeah.
no single African president said a word. Uhuru, who was president at that time, Uhuru didn't say anything. Museveni didn't say anything.
Nope.
Ramaphosa didn't say anything.
Nope.
All these African presidents didn't say nothing about George Floyd, about police brutality, about systemic racism of our brothers and sisters in America.
And he's
What a
one.
shame.
We got Sandra Bland. We got women who've been murdered. I mean, he's one of the many. And what they did to George was horrible. I am not negating his death, but they're all being murdered. And that's why we have to. Not only Africa is disorganized, the diaspora is disorganized. And I know that the world wants to keep us at each other's throat and disorganized, because once that's happened, they can kill us here in America. They can kill us in Africa. They can kill us in South America. They can kill us in Brazil. They're killing Africans in Brazil. They can kill us all over the world. And no one in Africa can't do anything about it. And we can't do anything about it. So I want to hear solutions, brother. And I heard what you said. You said you would close down the companies. You said you're going to close them down, and you would change the whole dynamic of working outside of the African continent, especially for women. I agree.
Yeah, that's what.
I put something here. I want to put it up on the screen. Patriarchy, because I see this so much. It's a social system where men disproportionately hold social, economic, and political power with the rule of the father, and inheritance typically passes through the male line, while originating from the need to control resources and succession. It manifests today as a pervasive system of male centeredness, limiting women's autonomy and perpetrating a gender inequality through oppression, gender roles, and biases. Patriarchy is a problem in America. Patriarchy is a problem in the Middle East. Patriarchy is a problem in Africa. I do not understand. And me being a woman, it's not to attack men. I think men are beautiful, and men should lead us. But this process that you have to subjugate, oppress, and hurt to be to center yourself is, we see these egos and why there's so much chaos in the world. Do you not agree with that when it comes to what's going on per se in the world with communities, with women, with children? Most of the leadership of the world are men.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is what
I
it
agree.
is.
I
And we
agree.
got to
Well,
find a
I can
way to
only
go ahead.
well, I can only speak to black people because I'm black, and I don't speak for any other race apart from my
Me
people.
neither.
I don't care what anybody says.
Me
You
neither.
can hate me all you want, but me, I'll forever speak about my people.
That's right.
So
Let's speak.
so of course there's there's sexism involved. Of course,
Yeah.
the especially in our community, yes, there is sexism. But on that topic, and that needs to be a separate topic. Probably
Yes.
that needs to be the topic for the next episode, because there's also white supremacy in feminism,
Yep.
and
Very much so.
we know that modern feminism was made by a bunch of CIA agents, and you know that started catching steam after the civil rights movement,
Yeah. But there's
and,
not one
and
it's not one feminist that's ahead of a country. There's not one feminist that is making power roles that we see in the world. Feminism is a problem, and it has a lot of white hegemony and a lot of issues, yes, and white women and white thought and supremacy in feminism. I agree. But what's ruling our world are males and the patriarchy and the egos, and you see this amount of chaos throughout the world, from white males, African males, we see Arab males. This box thought that male centeredness means that everybody else either serve or is subjugated or oppressed around them is a problem, and we see it.
Well,
And then you see these men with this arrogance and narcissism, like a Trump. He comes in and he thinks he's a king and he can tell everybody what to do, and then he bullies everyone. He bullies Africa, he bullies Europe, try to bully Russia. This is a male thing that I'm seeing, and I'm asking, that is why we see this amount of subjugation that we're seeing. It's starting with the leadership of males. And why? What is it that you cannot lead with the ability to include everyone and not have to subjugate people? Why?
well, while I agree with the point that yes, there's a lot of patriarchy going on,
Yes.
but let me tell you something, Queen. For example, if let's say if Kamala Harris became president,
She won't be
she'll
president.
be no, I'm saying for example,
I mean, she'll be
you
figurehead.
know,
She still won't be president.
no,
You know what I mean? But I hear what you say. Go ahead.
but let's say she made it to be president. She would be the female version of Biden, probably even Trump.
Okay, I agree.
You, I don't think it's yes. And to me, let me tell you one thing. Me, I prefer female leaders over male leaders. I think female make the best leaders because women are way more organized than men. Women are way more punctual, you know, than men. I feel like women make the best leaders, and you can even see it in Namibia right now with President Nandi. Uh,
Atwa.
do Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it there. But also, Queen, let me tell you something. Here in Kenya, we have female governors, we have female MPs, we have
Mm-hmm.
female people. We have female Supreme Court judges.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at them, they're not different like the male, female. Sorry, they're not any different than the
Mm-hmm.
male Supreme Court justices or male politicians.
Sure.
So
I
I
know.
think
They're just
I
as,
think
they're just as
I
hard,
think
but the system of patriarchy and oppression is there. You got to peel that back. So you look at the lady in
oh yeah,
Namibia. She peeled that system back. She is the one making the decisions. You got to peel the system. A patriarchy is the system, and so the women that are around a bunch of males who have created this system, they act just like it. It's a
I
problem.
think that I think that patriarchy existed pre-colonially. It
Absolutely.
existed, but it didn't exist to the extent that it exists post-colonially.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you,
White supremacy
because
has made it worse. You're correct. I agree. I agree.
exactly because like we had female. I mean, we had queens. We had I mean,
Yeah. You had Nzenga. You had ISIS. Yes.
Yeah, in Benin, the warriors were women.
Women.
You
That one
know,
eye,
so
I forgot her name, but you had the warrior women. They were women. The,
yeah,
the
in
patriarchy wasn't
Uganda,
this way.
and even in most tribes in Africa, there's the queen mother who
Yeah.
is very, 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 very much powerful as the king or the queen. So
Yes.
Africa, most of Africa, not all, but most of Africa has never had a problem with female leadership. It is until colonialism came, then we realized, then we saw how the white man treated white women, their own women, and we were like, oh wow. And they taught us in school, they taught us in churches. This is how this is how a woman is, and this is how a man is, and that's how it's going to be in Kenya. And there's nothing you'll do about it.
A woman has its place.
That's that's what
Patriarchy
colonialism
is
did.
yeah, colonialism did that. I can believe that. That's white supremacy. That's fragile people. So we kind of peeled that back. That's fragile men, which are white men who are very fragile, who always have fragile egos. They still do today. So they come in and they dominate and they subjugate and oppress. And so that's been actually added to patriarchy, because patriarchy, I think, has been in Africa pre-colonial. Colonial and white supremacy is the problem. That's just what it is. And we see it. But what's the problem in the Middle East? What's the problem with
the
those?
Middle East, I mean,
what's their problem?
well,
they're not
I
white
don't
men.
know.
What's their daggone
Well,
problem?
that's just their culture. That's their culture. That's how they view women. I mean, in some of their countries, women can't drive. In most, if not all, of the countries, they control how women dress.
Yeah.
You know, they control how women dress. They control whether they go to school or not. They control everything women do. And I always say, if
That's
they
fragile.
do that to their own women, if Arabian men mistreat and disrespect their women, their Arabian women, what do you think they'll do to African women?
Yeah.
What do you think they'll do to African women? What do you think they'll do to them? So as we wind up, Queen, I just want to say, shame on you, all these African governments who are allowing these agencies to run and make millions and millions and millions of Kenya shillings at the expense of our beautiful girls and at the expense of our strong, hardworking men, going there to become slaves, going there to become sex slaves, going there to become manual slaves, going there to become slave laborers, going there to be physically, verbally, sexually abused. You should be ashamed of yourself. You ruin your economy, and then you wonder why people are going outside. They're going outside because you've ruined the economy. You've caused unemployment. You've stolen everything. And you wonder why people are going there. They're going there because you've messed up the country. You've messed up Africa. Fix Africa so that people cannot go over there. But if people are to go there, make sure they're going there and they're receiving good pay and they're receiving good treatment and they are staying. And when they come home for holidays, or when they come home, or when they come back home permanently, they come back home in one piece. Talk to their governments, sign some agreement, sign some treaty, whatever. And make sure that they're coming home safe. Make sure that they're being paid well. Because I'm so sick and tired of every day just listening to these horror stories. In Kenya, I mean, we listen to them almost every week.
Really?
It's a mess. 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 Fix it. Fix it. Close these agencies. Close the border for people who are going to work. If you're going there to travel, fine. Traveling, no problem. But if you're going to work in the Middle East, just stop it. Shut it down. Don't allow it to happen. Don't allow anybody to go work in the Middle East until everything has been sorted out between the African governments and the Arabian governments. I'm so sick and tired of this. Put your people first. Put your people first. Don't prioritize oil and gas over your people. That oil and gas is null and void if people don't use it. You need people to use the oil and gas, right? Do you think oil and gas
Africa's all rich?
If people are not using it?
You don't have to do that. Africa's all rich. Fix Africa, as you say. Africa has everything it needs. It does not need to go to the Middle East to get oil or gas. Honestly,
Africa is rich. Africa is
it's
rich
so much
already.
oil in Africa. It's so much natural gas in Africa. Please. So if that is why you're worrying about
But
that,
that
then
has
you
been
fix
stolen.
Africa.
But
eh, Huh?
it's been stolen. It's been stolen. Shell, Chevron,
Yeah.
and whatever.
Yeah.
All these multinational oil companies are
Kick
sucking
their asses
oil
out.
from Nigeria, from
Kick
Western
them
Africa,
out.
from the Niger Delta.
Kick them out. Kick them out of Nigeria. Kick them out of Namibia. Like she put the gauntlet on Shell. Get it, you gonna get yourself together. We're gonna change. We got to change Africa, like you said, fix Africa, because Africa does not have to send people. And if you need oil, you can get it in Africa. If you need natural gas, you can get it in Africa. Anything you want, you can get in Africa if Africa was fixed. And Africa can trade amongst its own self. And these borders got to go. They simply got to go. But it's so listen. It's so much for us to talk about when it comes to Africa and the diaspora. Today it was Arabian racism. You have schooled me on something I really didn't know about. I think us in this country, we have no clue about. I mean, you know what? We know how mean Arabs are. They have nothing to do with the American African, and if they're in our communities, they do not deal with us in no type of relationship. So we know. And sometimes a lot of people think that East Indians or South Asians, Indians are Arabs. They're not. The darker ones. They might look like them, but they're not. But we have really no relationship with them neither. They do not extend themselves to us. So when we see them, we see the Saudi prince. You know, they look regal. They got a lot of money. But you're telling me they're subjugators, they're killers, they got slavery for our people. We listen, it's something we didn't know. I didn't know. So I appreciate that, Marina. It's scary. 274 people documented body bags in the last 5 years. And this is just Kenya. That's unbelievable.
That's
That's
just Kenya.
terrible.
What about the other African countries?
What about those? So many people going to these countries and working. Ah, to God be the glory. And still have the population that Africa has and the most issues. We're just amazing people. We're just amazing people. All I can say, I'm shocked. It hurts to hear that as a woman, that you can't go somewhere to work and someone would take your body and make you feed puppies from your breast. Are you kidding me? That someone would, man, wow. All right, final word. I don't have nothing to say. I'm sick.
I think no, I think I've said my final word. Shut down the agencies, shut down the border for people who are going to the Middle East to work,
Yep.
to travel, fine. But to work in Dubai, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, shut it down. Shut it down if you're going to work. There's no working there until all the working conditions are sanitized and they are conducive for Africans to go there to work.
Yes.
And
Yes.
until the Arabian governments have set up systems and they are willing to protect any African who's going to work there. In short, no going to Saudi Arabia, no going to Dubai, no going to Qatar to work, not to travel. Travel you can, but you're not going there to work until we sign a treaty, and this
Yeah.
treaty states that the working conditions are conducive, and number two, the Africans are safe there, and number three, the investigations will kick off and people should be, and those Arabs who killed 274 Kenyans, and those Arabs who have killed thousands of and have mistreated thousands of Kenyans over there, until we see legal action being taken upon those Arabs who have done those things, because there's video evidence. There's video evidence.
Really?
Oh yes, yo, you know, you people like you people need to
Video?
follow
I
what's
mean, this
going
is
on.
on video. You can see this, and nothing's being.
I mean, the woman breastfeeding puppies. It was on video. It was on video, and the testimonies of these women. I mean, look,
This is crazy.
shut down the agencies, shut down the agencies, shut down the borders for people who are going to work in the Middle East, sign a treaty. Let's see that the Saudi Arabian government is willing to put those people who did all those heinous acts accountable. Then that's when we will think about putting people to that plane to go work there. And also give them a livable wage, give them good accommodation. I mean, just treat them like human beings. Treat them like human beings. I know you don't respect your women. You Arabian people, you don't respect your women. But that doesn't mean you have to disrespect ours as well. We're not coming there to become your husbands and wives. We don't want you. We don't want you. We're not going there to be your husbands. We're not going there to be your wives and girlfriends and side chicks and side dudes. No, we are going there to work. Pay me what I'm worth. Pay me what I'm worth. And treat
Love
me
it.
well as I'm going to work there. Pay me what I'm worth. Treat me well. Treat me like a human being. I'm just coming to work. I'm not coming here to be a sex slave. I'm not coming here to be a slave. Period. No. Just treat me like a human being. And Ruto, Ramaphosa, Museveni, Samia Suluhu, all you African presidents, you're all useless people. Go home. That's my last word. Just go home. You're all useless people. You know the names of these agencies. You know the names of these agencies. You know where they are. You know where their offices are, but you don't take action. You don't you know what they do, but you don't want to take action. That's the, I mean, you know what the agencies, like when I see them, what comes to my mind is slave auctions. The agencies are a bunch of slave auctions.
We still have slave markets in this country. They now make merchandising spots. In Charleston, South Carolina, there's a slave market, and now there's shops, and they make it a merchandising spot. So that hits close. I just want the people to know that I'm not.
Let me say this. Okay. Wait, but let me say this. Arabian countries, just because you have oil and gas, do you know that in Africa there is more untapped minerals than already tapped minerals? Yeah. When we become serious, because one day we will reclaim our continent. One day we will have 54 Traores. One day we will have 54 Traores who are representing every single country in Africa. And when we go deep, and when we go deep, and when we discover the oil that we haven't even discovered yet, we will not need you, Saudi Arabia. We will not need you, Middle East. Yeah. Keep your oil and keep your gas. One day we will not need you. Yeah. And it's coming soon.
It is so amazing you said that. I was going to say the same thing. I was just going to say very close to what you, but I want to apologize. Listen, I'm not laughing at this situation because it's serious. I'm laughing at my brother and his passion. This is not funny. It is, but when you see me go off screen is because I don't want to appear to be laughing at something so serious. But the passion that I from my big baby brother right here, it makes me smile because he's so passionate, and I understand, because this is some bullshit. Excuse my language. This is bullshit that this is happening to our people. And so I understand the passion. And when I see it to him, it makes me laugh because he is so passionate. But listen, there's going to be a day where Africa will not be the way she is now. And history, Saudi Arabia, all of you Middle East folks who, first of all, have been named by white people. Where you live is not real. It was created. from the same people who you subjugate and oppress. There will be a day where Africa will not need you. Everything is in Africa. It's the only self-sufficient nation in the world. Saudi Arabia needs goods from other countries. Africa doesn't. None of the Middle East can take care of all of their needs. They got to go out of their needs. Africa does not. And there will be a day, as he said, that there will be a Traore-like person in each president. And I don't know what's going to happen to the other countries of the world because history is not on your side. Africans are great. And the reason why people come around us all over the world to hurt us, because they know once we get on top, it's over. So that's all I got to say. It's sad to hear what I heard today. It hurts my heart. Africa will rise. And we did hear my brother said he's going to be president on 8/25/25. It might not be in 20 years, but we're going to come back to this and we're going to say, this is when he said he's going to be president.
In Kenya, you can't be president unless you're 35 and above. Okay. So I still have 10 years to go.
Yeah, but you also can get some experience. Can you run for office before 35, or it starts at 35 for everything?
Wait, relax. You just relax.
Well, because I want you to get some political experience. So I love what you. I think you'll be a great president. I just want to say ashe to you. I love your passion. These things that we're talking about is important, guys. I need you to tap into both of our channels. There's not many channels that are talking authentically about Africa and the diaspora and the connection and the unity that we need to grow. Africa is nothing without us, and we're nothing without Africa. It's just what it is. And we see it. That's why we have these problems, because Africa is organized and we don't have any place to go back to. So listen, tap in, hit us up, hit our YouTube. We're going to make this next Monday. We're going to make this better. We're going to stream in some different places so you guys can see us, and definitely in South Africa to Africans. We got to get into that space. So Rena, peace to you. You saying peace to the people?
No peace.
Oh, there we go. Power. Next Monday, peace and power. We'll be here next Monday, 2 p.m., 9 p.m. Kenya. Listen, check us out. We're going to be on YouTube next in his joint. So after the Africans, we're coming there next Monday. We're getting on his. We're going to stream into his joint. We're going to move this thing. We got to have dialogue. Have a good afternoon. Good night in Kenya. Africa rise. Power. Peace.
No peace.
Oh, power. Bye. I'm here ending the stream.